A lame elderly lady is crossing the street with her shopping when her shopping bag bursts. A driver starts honking and a poor homeless boy comes to her rescue. Before we continue, please take some time to subscribe to Dailydose, like and share this video with your friends. It might brighten their day and inspire them to do good. Also keep watching because an important lesson awaits at the end of the video. Agnes Wilbur hated being old. Nothing worked anymore. Her body ached, her eyesight was dim, and some mornings she could hardly get out of bed. But her mind was clear as a bell, and she knew that the old woman in the mirror was who she was now. Yes, she hated being old, and most of all, she hated how her body betrayed her at the worst times. That afternoon, Agnes had gone shopping for groceries. Usually she phoned in her order, but Mr. Mario, the shop owner, was short-staffed. So Agnes took her cane and her shopping bag, and off she went. She shortened her shopping list down to the essentials so she wouldn't have to carry too much weight home. Agnes did all right on her way to the store, but coming back was another story. There was a busy street on Agnes' way home, with a pedestrian crossing and a traffic light. By the time she got to the crossing, Agnes was feeling very tired and feeling every one of her 77 years. 3 times she tried to cross the street, but she always went back to the curb. The cars were speeding by so fast that she was afraid she wouldn't have time to cross before the traffic light turned green again. Finally, she gathered her courage in both hands and started crossing. She leaned her weight on her cane with one hand and carried the bag in the other. It was so heavy. To Agnes, it seemed that the road she was crossing was endless. Her tired feet dragged along, and as hard as tried, she couldn't go any faster. Before she knew it, the light changed. Immediately, the car horns started blaring, which meant that Agnes got even more nervous and tried to go faster. That was when the handle of her shopping bag broke. The bag spilled her groceries, spreading them all over the road. One of the drivers waiting for her to move out of the way so they could continue on their way got out of his car. "What are you doing, you stupid fat cow?" he screamed. "Could you go any slower?" "I'm sorry," gasped Agnes and tried to pick up a tin of tuna. "Sorry?" the man yelled. "I'll make you sorry, you old hag." That was when a voice broke in. "Don't talk to the lady like that." Agnes saw it was a boy in his late teens, wearing torn jeans and worn-out sneakers. The boy ran to Agnes' side, holding out his hand to the waiting drivers, asking for patience. But the big burly man who'd been screaming wasn't placated. "What?" he shouted. "Is Snail Woman your granny? Get her the hell out of here. She should be in a retirement home. Show some respect," the boy said. "This lady is doing her best, and you're acting like an idiot." The man's face turned beet red. "You have some stones, kid," he cried. "You keep working your mouth, and I'll feed you and your granny a double serving of knuckle sandwich." The boy turned his back on the ranting driver and started picking up Agnes' groceries. He started sticking them into the ruined grocery bag, and Agnes whispered, "Thank you." The boy smiled. He had a lovely smile, Agnes noticed. "You're welcome, ma'am," he said. "Always glad to help." "I wonder," Agnes said. "I don't think I can get my shopping home alone. Would you mind helping me?" "Of course not," the boy said. "I'd be glad to help." The boy picked up the bag and put one arm around Agnes and helped her across the street. The guy who had been screaming gunned his car and took off, narrowly missing Agnes and the boy. Agnes cried out in fright. "It's okay," the boy said kindly. "You're safe." Agnes led the boy to her house and offered him some coffee. "Would you like some cookies?" she asked. "I made them this morning." "I'd love some," the boy said. "My grandmother used to make some for me too." "What's your name?" Agnes asked. "You lived with your grandmother?" The boy said, "I'm Wade. I lived with my grandmother, but then she died. They put me in foster care, but when I was 18, that was it. I was on the streets." "Is that where you live now?" asked Agnes gently. "Yes," Wade said, blushing. "Look, I have a job, but it's not enough to pay for even a room. I'm taking some night courses so I can get a better job, but it's not easy." Agnes had a brilliant idea. "Listen, Wade," she said. "Why don't you come to live here with me? It's a big house. There's plenty of room." Wade was stunned. "Mom," he gasped. "Are you sure? You don't even know me." "I know a kind soul when I see one," Agnes said. "But don't think it's charity, Wade. I will expect you to help me with the shopping, and with the dishes, and to get good grades." Wade dropped his face between his hands and started sobbing. Agnes placed her arm around his shoulders. "Don't cry, Wade," she said. "It's okay. You're home." Auntie was. From then on, Wade and Agnes became a family, and as real families do, they looked out for each other. Wade was no longer alone, and Agnes finally had the grandson she'd always wanted. To Wade's surprise, Agnes made a new will, so that when she passed away, her little house, valued at $80,000, would be all his, and he'd never be living on the streets again.